Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Next breakdown. Right, Tootell joined us. So, Tom Stuber just wrote an article about Weber State because Weber State played Montana last week and is playing in Bozeman this week. And he's watched Weber a couple times now, just given some of the crossovers. They played Eastern the week before that, so this is basically like the finale of a round robin with Eastern coming to Missoula to play as well. But his premise was that Weber sort of reminds him of the 1983 Bobcats. What do the 1983 Bobcats have to do with anything? Well, the 1983 Bobcats went 2-9, but they had some flashes of some good players. They were just totally broken offensively. But then they figured out the offense the next year. What happened? They won the 1984 National Championship. And I was reading this. I was like, that's an interesting parallel. And Suber certainly makes his case in his column. And he interviewed some guys for the 1983 team. It's a good write-up. It's worth reading. But I also was thinking about how that whole deal where, okay, you have this team that is good and solid and maybe close and knocking on the door. But they're missing these couple components. But then the next year they get those components and they get over the top. It's like almost completely a fallacy now in college football, except for like a few of the programs, especially in the FCS. Because like what's actually going to happen to Weber? Like his whole premise was they have all their offensive starters coming back next year. They just got to figure out the quarterback, and they have like 9 defensive starters coming back next year too.
But they're not.
But do they? Right. Exactly. That's the whole deal, right? And that's where you see it on the other side of the coin with the Grizz, where they had no starters coming back this year, and they got way better on defense. I don't know about way better, but better on defense because of the influx of guys. So it's just an interesting state of affairs because the premise is good. I think the reality in the current college football world is not realistic.
Okay, great intro to the Big Sky Breakdown podcast with your buddy Ryan Tootell. Okay. Second of all, there was no question there, but I'll answer anyway. No. I got a lot to say. Okay. So you just hold tight there, buckaroo. Okay?
Okay.
But, you're a professional now. You should let people know what it is they're listening to off the top. In any case.
It is you. I said Big Sky Breakdown with Ryan Tootell.
You did.
Here's the thing.
That.
You want to know what people like about this podcast?
Please tell me.
A lot of things.
My face to start.
But number one, that we don't repeatedly tell people who it is.
Yeah.
They can read.
Yeah. That's good.
Do you want to know how many times I introduced Andrew Schmidt?
Hey.
Never.
Andrew Schmidt introduces himself.
I just wind him up and let him
go.
Yeah.
Weber State is such an interesting case. They're there at the headquarters of the entire conference.
Yep.
They are in Ogden, which is in the larger Salt Lake metropolitan area.
Yep.
And Utah is a sports crazy and football crazy state with a lot of good players and a ton of resources to pour into it. I've covered Weber State in a pretty direct fashion for 10, 12 years now.
Yep.
The one and only single thread that has made Weber State be good is Jay Hill. That, in my time, the reason Weber State has been good is Jay Hill. The reason they have been bad, Jay Hill ain't there. That's it. That's all.
But don't you think it's the most inexcusable situation in the conference? Like, go through all the teams that are bad.
Oh, why? Yeah, why shouldn't they be better than what they are?
Yeah, go through all the teams that are bad. Like, why was Jay Hill good? Well, first, he's a great football mind, but also he did exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He prioritized Utah. If you just get a bunch of the kids that are from Utah and you could say, well, we're not BYU, we're not Utah, it doesn't matter. You get the second tier guys that aren't going to those two schools or the cast-offs from those two schools, you're still one of the better teams in the Big Sky because, again, like you said, it's a sports crazy place. There's a ton of talent there. That's the whole deal. Like, you go down the line, okay, Northern Colorado's got D2 facilities. Portland State plays at a high school stadium. Cheney's in the middle of a farm field. Like,
it's interesting in the Big Sky Conference because every institution wants to claim some uniqueness about them and some thing that makes them special and something that makes the program or whatever different from others. And, of course, everybody's got stuff that makes them different from others. But Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, LSU, is it that different from one to the other what you got to do to be a great football power? It's not clear to me that it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's cookie cutter, but there's way more overlap than there is dissimilarity. What it takes to be good at UC Davis compared to Weber State, compared to Idaho State, compared to Montana is just night and day, man. It just is. And so
maximizing advantages, minimizing disadvantages.
You have to go in and have tremendous institutional knowledge of the place you're going, not just being a great coach, not just being a great, football person. You have to understand where you are and have a plan together on how you're going to get from where you're at to where you want to be here at this place.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas not just like, oh yeah, we got $500 million to spend because we're whatever. Right. And so and I think that Weber State, I think Jay Hill had that.
He did.
And understood that. And he's from there.
Yes.
He knows the place.
Play the University of Utah.
And I'm not saying that the other coaches haven't had some of that, but they haven't had enough to do, because I do think there's no reason that Weber State should be dormant in football. And there really isn't.
And not even just dormant, completely lacking of identity. Like when you watch them, you're like, what's the plan here? Yeah. Like, are you guys an offensive team? Are you a defensive team? Do you want to run the ball? Do you want to dominate the line of scrimmage? Or are you trying to air it out? Like Idaho State, not a very good record. But like you watch him, you're like, okay, I know exactly what that Cody Hawkins wants. He wants to throw the ball all over the yard. He wants to play 4 wide. He wants to score a bunch of points. He's trying to be tough and fast on defense. You watch Weber, you're like, what's the plan?
So with that being said, and I don't know what the number is, but I like the Cats laying the points this weekend. So I'll just leave it at that. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the Cody Hawkins story that he told on this on the Nuanez Now earlier this year. He said, "Hey, when I first got the Idaho State job, everybody thought I went to this 4 wide air raid offense because they thought I was like this young, innovative offensive mind." He's like, "No, when I was the offensive coordinator at UC Davis, we put 2 tight ends in the NFL. I love tight ends. That's like one of my bread and butters. When I played at Colorado, loved tight ends. When I was in high school in Boise, loved tight ends." He said, "I know where I'm at. I'm going to be recruiting the Pacific Northwest. And the top 15 tight ends are all going to go to either the Pac-12/Big Ten, or they're going to go to Montana,
Michigan,
or Michigan, or they're going to go to Montana State, Idaho, Boise State, Utah State, before they ever get to me." And he's like, "I don't want to recruit the 27th best tight end. I want to go to Tacoma and recruit the 3rd best slot receiver and be like, dude, I'm going to throw you the ball 100 times. You want to come here?"
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So, again, mitigating.
Know what you can do and do that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Five Valleys Restoration, your view is our view. And what a beautiful view it is. We are proud to be locally owned, locally operated. We love our community here in Missoula and also the full 5 valleys that we do service. We give back to the community, we service our community. Our kids go to school here, we live here, we play here.
Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
Being in this industry since I was in college, one of the things I think we take the most pride in is Aspen Sound's been such a presence in Missoula for almost 40 years. The cool parts about our job is people always ask me, what do you do for a living? And I sell phone, whether it's as simple as window tins all the way up to integrating a backup camera into a factory screening. I'm usually pretty excited about that, just so we can present
Big Sky Breakdown here on SkylineSportsMT.com, probably presented in part by our good friends at Aspen Sound. The frigid weather is around the corner, so go get yourself an automatic car starter at Aspen Sound. Aspen Sound will install the starter for you, and it'll keep you and your car in great shape all year long. It's so nice to have a nice warm car in the middle of the winter. Aspen Sound can hook you up with all sorts of sweet services, in-car stereo systems, window tinnings, the automatic car starters, and everything else. Stop by Aspen Sound at 1300 West Broadway in Missoula. All right, I know you got a lot of statistics for us. Give me your stats.
Okay. I've done so much work for you.
So much research.
Okay.
This is what happens when he has multiple days where he's not driving the truck.
My hourly wage working for you is like into the cents an hour. I'm just doing so much digging. Now, you know and I know that stats are for losers.
That's correct.
So I've got some stats for you.
Let's go.
Okay. These are I think one is somewhat telling, and I think the other one or two are just sort of novelty, but they're worth paying attention to. Okay, one's a Montana State stat, one's a Montana stat.
Great, love
okay?
the equity. We're equal opportunity coverage beacon.
We are now into week 7 of conference play, but teams have played either 5 or 6 conference games, I guess, coming into this week. Is that right?
I think everybody's played 5.
Okay, so we're at 5.
Everybody's done with their buys. We got 3 weeks left.
So, again, we all know about the asymmetry even within conference play. Not everybody plays everybody, but 5 weeks in, you got to have at least a little equilibrium that's happening across the league now. As we cross the halfway point, past the halfway point in conference play. We talked a little bit about the Montana State defense, Coulter, on past podcasts and how it isn't, let's put it like this. Montana State has had some of the most elite defenses in their institution's history and in the nation year over 3 of the last 5 seasons or something
basically
like that.
Since the year before the pandemic. 2019 was when it first started coming to a head, and then since then, basically, so the last 6 or 7 years.
And we talked about how this defense is absolutely outstanding, but where are they at in comparison to those other defenses?
Right.
And maybe they don't have some of the name recognition that some of those other defenses had.
Sure.
In Big Sky Conference play, now again, this is not going to include, therefore, the non-conference. All of the teams defensively have allowed X number of points. The point of the game of football, Coulter, is scoring points and not allowing the other team to score points. Indeed. So I'd like to focus in on that insight for you that you only get on the Big Sky Breakdown. But every team in the Big Sky Conference, the worst team in the Big Sky Conference by scoring defense is Portland State, who's allowed 189 points in conference play. Yep. The best team is UC Davis, who's allowed 117. And when I say best, I mean second best. So all the teams in the Big Sky are between 117 and 189 points, which actually isn't that huge a range, quite honestly.
Not,
I mean, that's...
less than 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, exactly, of difference. And that's significant, but it's not insane.
Yeah.
Montana State has allowed 51 points
Indeed.
in conference play. So less than half of the points of the next best team in conference. By the way, the Grizzlies are third on that list, so also very good. I think 127 or something like that in their own right. So they're right there as one of the better defenses. But Montana State is just far and away in the category that matters, better than everybody else. And we can parse out the schedule and some of the teams they've played and that kind of stuff. I get all that.
Totally.
But, I mean, they played Idaho State. It's good offense. They played some bad offenses too. And you know what's standing up? Their defense, and the scoring defense specifically, and how many points they're allowing, which is dang near nothing. And statistically significant, better than everybody else in the league. And so we've spent a lot of time on the offense and sort of the shift in identity, and are they passing, are they running, or whatever. The defense still slaps in Bozeman.
Well, that's right. And the fact is that it's like this 20-man barrage that's coming at you. The fact is that they're true headliners, like they're all Americans, or the guys that are playing interior defensive line, so they don't get a bunch of love. Nobody's giving them their flowers because they don't get any stats. Yeah. Well, Paul Brott's one of the great war daddies that we covered. I mean, the guy gets no tackles, but he also ruins three guys' lives for every single play over and over and over again.
I've ruined a lot of lives, but not on the football field.
Man, well, he's also made a huge sacrifice. He told me earlier this week, I'm writing about Paul Brott for the Cat Grizz Week, and he told me earlier this week that he has put on, exactly as of last week, 90 pounds since he got to campus. Wow. And I was like, all right, bro, so how's this going to go afterwards? He goes, I can't tell you how excited I am to stop eating. Yeah. He's like, I eat so much that it's disgusting, and I will lose 40 pounds in like 1 week. Yeah. When I stop.
The Joe Thomas deal, right? Totally. Like when he got done with the NFL, all of a sudden he's just a GQ model.
He's like, you're going to not see me for like 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be 250. Yeah. I was like, okay, good for you, man. Anyways, but that's one part of it. But I also think the most impressive part of this Bobcat defense is you go through 10 points per game in itself during conference play is a stunning statistic. It's
amazing. Yeah.
But then you look at the actual drive charts. Northern Arizona had a very impressive drive on their very first possession of that football game, and then nothing else.
0 for 55 minutes.
Idaho State's 2 touchdowns both came on broken plays, and those are the only 2 broken plays, the only 2 shot plays the Cats have given up the entire duration of conference play. So I'm just using those as outliers. You gave those plays up; those are 60-something yard touchdowns. They absolutely count against your statistic, but those are just outliers. Because then you look at Cal Poly, who scored on 2 touchdown drives, but that's it. They have given up 3 actual real touchdown drives through the duration of conference play, where a team actually manufactured a 7 to 10 play drive and marched it down the field on them. That's been how suffocating.
Yeah,
that they've
I
been.
just think it's worth noting just how well they're playing as a unit and doing what you're supposed to do, and that's not let the other team score at a prolific rate.
And here's the other thing: the linebackers at Montana State have always been good, just like the linebackers in Montana have always been good. That's the position that the state provides you. Like if you just get the dudes from Montana, you're going to be good. That's just, there's a great number of D1 linebackers that come out of the state of Montana, and the Grizz and the Cats have great tradition when it comes to that spot. But the other reason, besides the 4 seniors on the defensive front and 2 elite interior guys for the Cats, the other thing is that the secondary, especially the corners, I think I'm already willing to say this, even though it's only 9 games into this year. I think it's the greatest tackling group of corners that I've seen. And that makes such a difference. They are as aggressive and as physical as you can be, and the fact they're all freshmen and sophomores is so impressive. What a great recruiting job by them to rebuild their corners in short order with guys that are just nasty.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I actually had that in watching them last week as the thing that I wanted to point out. I mean, it's unmissable.
The first
single
play of the
digit
game,
numbers are flying up.
First play of the game, Jace McMillan hammers the guy.
Yeah.
The next drive, Carson Williams gets in the act, and then they're playing off of each other. And I'm telling you, for anybody that hasn't been around these guys or heard these guys get interviewed, all 4 of the dudes that are playing corner right now are all freshmen or sophomores. They're all from Texas. They're all were sprint champions. When you're around them in a group, it is the funniest thing you've ever seen. They are like 4 brothers that are just arguing all the time about who's faster, who's better looking, who's better player, all this stuff. Yeah. But they love it. And I think it's spurred on their internal competition.
Well, it is fun to watch, and you're right to bring that up because that's a huge part of what they're doing over there. Okay,
Life can change in an instant. If you've been hurt in an accident, suffered from medical negligence, or are facing criminal charges, you don't have to face it alone. At Ryan Miller & Coburn, we're here to listen and fight for you. We're your neighbors, traveling across Montana to stand by your side as your link to justice. Real people, real help, right here in Montana. Ryan Miller & Coburn, your Montana attorneys.
Another day, flavorless forage.
What in the heck is this magic? It smells intriguing. Could this be the answer to my lifelong struggle against bland wilderness cuisine? Okay, deep breaths. Don't get your hopes up, big guy.
Finally, a meal fit for a famished Bigfoot. Thank you, Alpine Touch. My Rocky Mountain adventures just got a whole lot tastier.
Shine Beer Sanctuary is leading the charge when it comes to promoting beer culture in Montana. Located at the corner of Church and Main and downtown Bozeman, the locally owned and operated tap house and bottle shop has the best beer selection in the Treasure State. The bar has 32 rotating beers on tap with everything from Duvel to local ciders, gluten-free beers, and non-alcoholic options. The bottle shop has more than 400 beer offerings from all over the world, and Shine offers Cicerone-trained beer guides. Come enjoy beer heaven at Shine Beer Sanctuary in Bozeman.
Other statistic that I wanted to bring up. This is an offensive statistic. This is a scoring statistic, which is the other part of the puzzle when it comes to winning football games.
Stat guy, Ryan Tootell.
Yeah, tremendous. What position scores the most points, Coulter?
The kicker.
Always, right? Like the top. You look
almost
at the top,
always, yeah.
You look at the top kickers in the history of the NFL. I mean, the top, 30 are probably all kickers. You know what I mean?
Sure.
In terms of people who are scoring. Well,
Jerry Rice probably is in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So in this season, and this is, by the way, the entire season, not just restricted to conference play, the top 8 scorers are all kickers, except for 2 dudes. Number 6, Michael Wortham. And Eli Gilman, hello, number 1. scoring more than everybody in the entire conference, including all of the special teams dudes. 10 points a game. It's just really hard to put into context what a house call Eli Gilman is. And of course, we know Michael Wortham. And I think that Michael Wortham I know that he has gotten a ton of love on this podcast and plenty of other shows and deserves every piece of it. And he is also just a home run hitting machine. But it is wild with all of that, how much Eli Gilman just goes to the house every single time. It's just it's death taxes and Gilman scoring touchdowns.
He's got the short yardage thing. He's got the home run hitting thing, and he's also added the pass catching thing. He's got a couple receiving touchdowns, which has really bolstered his scoring average.
I at one point, and I think it was especially coming out of the North Dakota game, where we're like, are you going to give 10 the football? Is he going to see it? Well, guess what? He's seeing it. I think he's over 100. If I've got this right, 150. Touches and maybe even rushes.
150 rushes, and he's got 171 touches.
So 150 rushes, which is 30 more than the next closest player in the conference.
Yeah, he needs only 13 carries this year to surpass last year's 14 game total. So they're certainly giving the ball more.
So I wanted, first of all, and by the way, Michael Wortham's touched the ball a ton as well, yeah. And I want to give credit to to Coach Houck and the entire offensive staff for doing the thing that you have to do. And that's when you have players that are better than everybody else, get them the football. And we'll throw Brooks Davis in there as well as the emerging star that he is as a freshman. But they found other guys, and they're using those other guys. But even the for lack of a better word, secondary group of playmakers, all the things that they're getting, and it's a lot of scoring and big plays, is predicated on first letting Gilman and Wortham feast and then forcing the defense to just overplay everything that 10 and 6 do. And then all of a sudden the whole football field's open for everybody else, who's, by the way, good players in their own right on the Grizzly offense.
Yep.
But for these individual guys to be outscoring the rest of the conference, including the kickers, it's a remarkable feat and reality of what they're doing, and it's remarkable, man. And I think this is again part of the reason why there's so much excitement, fervor, whatever you want to call it for Grizzly football in general, but especially we're seeing a style of offense and an explosiveness, and excitement to the offensive side predicated on those two, and Ayat, of course, but not that flows then to the other 11 or to whoever, everybody else on the field throughout everything they do, and it's working because they are putting it where it has to go.
Big Time Breakdown, Ryan Tootell joining us, represented in part by DraftWorks. DraftWorks has the new Upwith lager. It's relatively new. It's been around for about 2 years now, but Upwith is a premium lager crafted with the University of Montana NIL Collective in mind. This is a benefiting student-athlete beer. It's a crisp, effervescent lager that pours pale straw in color and greets you with its inviting malty aromas. If you're a tailgater and you like drinking light beers because it helps you stay between the ditches when you're drinking all day, okay, that's great. This is what you should drink. This contributes to the Grizz. This contributes to the NIL Collective at the University of Montana. We appreciate DraftWorks for their new support of us. We've been friends with these guys for a while, but we appreciate them for being a part of what we got going on. And if you are headed out to the tailgates, pick yourself up some Up Top with Montana Premium Lager. All right. Then you factor in that not only are these two of the top 10 scorers in the conference, but also the Grizzlies are leading the league in scoring offense.
Yeah.
Kaylee Ayat's leading the country in passing offense.
Surprise? Nope.
But aren't you surprised given the circumstance of who runs the football program? The Grizzlies have not had a player lead the country in passing this century.
When did Aaron Rodgers play his, maybe not his best years, but Aaron Rodgers was so sweet for the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. when they drafted Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because he went, oh, okay. Now, this is not an exact metaphor. I think that last season particularly, for the coaches, they went, oh, okay, we can't do that. That was dumb, right. And it was. And now you just give into it. I mean, this is in a certain way the Nick Saban deal, where all he wanted to do was play defense and run the dang football and just asphyxiate you and win 19-12 in the SEC. And at some point, it just became easier to win and a better model with the rule changes and everything. You just got to get dudes and go score points.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought up Saban, because there was that classic coaches call that we used to play on ESPN radio from time to time, where he had this whole dissertation where he basically said, the turning point of my career was realizing that winning 31-3 and 49-21 is the same.
Completely.
But I had to figure out that it's okay, and if you're going to score 49, you're probably going to give up 21 because the other team's going to have more possessions. Your defense is going to be on the field for longer, but it's okay because you're still winning by 4 touchdowns. Winning by 4 touchdowns is winning by 4 touchdowns. You don't have to have this Bear Bryant mentality that teams can only score in single digits.
I'm not going to argue about who's the best coach in the NFL right now, but I'll tell you the two coaches that I think probably that have the most respect for me. And it's Andy Reid and it's Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
And the reason is, if you look at what those two dudes were doing their first 3 seasons as head coaches, obviously Tomlin in Pittsburgh and then Andy Reid in Philadelphia, it's not the same sport.
No, that's right. Exactly.
Now.
Right.
You know what it takes to be willing and able to change who you are and how you're going to do it year in and year out in order to still be at the front of the class and the cutting edge of the things that you're doing. It's remarkable. Sean McVay, there hasn't been a day in his life that he hasn't been the best offensive mind sitting around. He's 17, man. He's got time to fall behind still. And I don't think I love Sean McVay. I think McVay is amazing. But you know what I'm saying? Andy Reid's in his mid-60s or whatever, and he's still out here doing spinsies out of a huddle in a Super Bowl, and you go, what in the hell was that?
Sarah, what up, E?
What's going on? Man, those are some nice medals.
Yeah, man, these are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
Well, that's nothing like going to March Madness, though.
We did go to a national championship.
Okay, guys, whatever. Let's just get on the Montana party bus and head over to Press Box for lunch.
Yeah.
Nuanez Now and Skyline Sports, covering Montana athletics and the Big Sky Conference better than anybody. The Montana Party Bus and the Press Box are also proud supporters of Montana athletes.
Hey, cheers to you guys, man. Cheers to Montana. Cheers to chasing more champions.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
So will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
This is exactly Dane Oliver. Dane Oliver, the head coach at Missoula Sentinel, told me this earlier this year, because Sentinel looks nothing like what Sentinel has looked when they've had all these great teams that have won state championships, et cetera, et cetera. But look at them. They're in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. They're 6-2, 7-2, whatever. They only lost twice. They won multiple games this year, like 10-7, 13-6.
Yeah.
You know, they won one game 7-0, which is such a far cry from a guy that was a college wide receiver. But like Dane said, he said, at some point I got old enough where I realized that I care way more about winning than anything else. I don't care what people think about how we look. I don't care about, I want to win. It's not about me. It's not about offensive acumen. No, it's about winning.
It is. And I think that...
Is that Bobby Houck right now, though?
Well, this is what I was going to say is I mean, I have to sit here and look at this team and say, and give props to Coach Houck.
Have to.
And not just because they're undefeated, of course that, but the way that they're doing it and how different it is from how different it looks, especially offensively, from anything that he's done before. And obviously Coach Pease as well is like central in that. I mean, you're the one who's like, hey, take a look at the headset, speaker up when they're on offense,
exactly.
Right? But that's a big part of it. If you know, hey, I got to let my coaches coach, and I got to let my players play, and I got to kind of get the hell out of the way a little bit. That's significant, man, and not easy to do. And also, and I'm not sure that that's. I mean, I think that Bobby's as invested and is as much a part of it as ever. But finding the place in yourself to allow that to happen, and is it happening? You know, where he's being drug along with it in some sense. I don't know, but. He's doing it. He's certainly allowing it to happen, if not pressing it forward to happen that way. And you got to absolutely tip your cap and golf clap that part of this for him, because you know it is probably uncomfortable. It's not the way that he knows it from years ago. So to change the way that you do it, I think that's as significant a part of being an outstanding professional in this regard as you can have. And it's one of the biggest marks for Coach Houck that I could think of compliments I could think of to pay the man.
Speaking of our Nick Saban analogy, in 2023, when the Grizz won the Big Sky Championship and went to the national title game, they averaged 30.2 points and gave up 17.2 points per game. So if my math is correct, that's a 13-point. You're basically winning every game by
two touchdowns.
By two touchdowns.
Yeah.
This year, they are averaging 41.1 points and giving up 23.3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you could say, wow, defense took a little bit of a step back. Or you could say, wow, the Grizz are actually winning games by, a full 5 more points. So it's almost a full touchdown. So the margin of victory,
more points you score, the more points you're going to give up, man. That is a fact.
That's exactly.
You got more possessions to defend, more plays to defend, more time on the field, especially with explosives and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like, that's just what it is. Yep. And so the as much as I talked about point scoring, I mean, really, you want to look at like points per drive, some stats like that that are going to be way more telling. Giving up 23 points a game might be better defense than 17 a game, depending on the context in which it's happening.
It's so true, because the time of possession gets skewed, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, like the Grizz defense, I'd mostly just look at the negative plays that they're able to manufacture, the third down percentages the other team is getting, and just the way they're influencing the field position game, because that's what it is. Like Bobby Houck's always going to tell you, like, empty calories.
Yeah.
Like Cardale Williams from Sac State, he's never thrown for 300 yards in his life, and he never will again, but he did against the Grizz. But that doesn't mean the Grizz defense is terrible. It's because they said, you guys do nothing but run it.
Yeah.
We are going to eliminate the run. And they held him to 3 yards to carry and said, if you want to get loose, get loose. And then, he hit a couple of the long bombs to Ernest Collins, who is, by the way, ran a 10-1 at Texas A&M in the 100 meters the year before. So I don't think anybody's guarding that guy.
Yeah.
But either way, it is, you pick your poison. It's a chaotic defense that tries to manufacture negative plays and then get off the field as soon as they can. Big Sky Breakdown, SkylineSportsMT.com. Any other statistics for us?
No, but I do have one more thing before I go, because I left my 2-year-old in the car with the keys, so we'll see how this goes.
She stole it already. Montana's already probably in Idaho.
Good for her. What a drive. Montana is playing Eastern Washington Saturday against their third-string quarterback. I will not be there. The reason I will not be there is because I'll be at an airport. God bless the air traffic controllers. It is an uncomfortable time to be in some of those positions. This feels like, for the federal workers, like COVID, when do we have a job still? Like, do we still have work? It's really hard to know. And so to be out there, it's a difficult time. So I recognize that for all of them, and for the folks that are still out there doing the work and able to make it happen. Thank you very much. I hope that it happens well enough that I can fly the flight that I'm supposed to fly on Saturday. You'll notice what I've got on here.
Nothing but Packers.
For the podcasters, we got a Green Bay, Wisconsin sweatshirt, a Green Bay Packers hat. Because I'm going, baby. Lambeau Field, Monday night. My mother, who's from Wisconsin, just celebrated her 50th anniversary with my dad. And her, what she wanted to do for her 50th anniversary was go to Lambeau with me.
So it's just you two.
No. So my dad,
Chris gets to come
my
too,
folks
right?
are going to go, and my wife and I, we're going to go, and the four of us are going to go do the thing at Lambeau for Eagles Packers, which is.
So how are you feeling about this after Green Bay had the worst loss in the history of the NFL last week?
Well, I think Green Bay is going to win. That's what I think. But here's the other.
That would be the trend of the season.
Yeah.
Lose to the Browns, win big games after that. Lose to the Panthers, win against the Eagles.
Here's the thing. If I was in a place where I'm going even like once a year to Lambeau or, to go see the Packers play, I would be really invested in the result of this football game. I'm not saying it won't matter. Of course it's going to matter. You're there for the game. You want to see your team win it. My experience is going to be really minimally impacted by how the game result turns out.
Right.
I am going to go have the absolute time of my life, tour Titletown, do the whole,
wait, have
Packers.
you been there before?
Never been.
You've never been?
I've never been. That's the whole thing.
Wow, your mom has, though.
Oh, yeah. She's been to quite a number of games. And I've gone and seen Green Bay play 5-6 times.
I was going to say
the NFC Championship game in Seattle.
You've been to Seattle before,
it
for
was
sure.
the biggest disaster in the history of the Packers.
Hey, you got Brock Coyle on the radio afterwards.
Sure did. One of the great pieces of sound I've ever captured. And that game was amazing. But anyway, I've never been to Lambeau. So I am very, very excited to be going. I will bring you notes and stories.
So when you get back, you don't get back till Tuesday at least. Then.
I'll be back late Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
I was going to say, you should come on the show on Monday, but that's not going to work because the Monday Night Football, and then you're going to be there.
No, you don't want me on the show Monday, believe me. That would be an incoherent slogfest. But I will be in here telling you stories from the homeland next week, so I look forward to that. And I'm sorry to be missing the Grizz game, but not sorry enough not to miss it.
Yeah, I mean, who would ever thought that Eastern Washington in Missoula on November 8th would just be a check a box, move on.
You had a third string quarterback coming in against the best offense in the country, or at least the best offense in the conference. I don't think it's going to go so good for the Eagles against the Grizzlies, just like I don't think it's going to go so good for Weber against Montana State.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we've got to the point where we've checked all the boxes in terms of the culmination of the collision course, other than one, and that is Montana State against UC Davis next week.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that we're pretty much in the clear. We're going to have a 9-2 Bobcat team going against an 11-0 Grizz team. I think that's honestly, I think the world would have to end for that not to be the case.
Well, we get closer each day, don't we, Coulter?
Ryan Tootell, Big Sky Breakdown, SkySportsMT.com. Thanks for being here, buddy.
You bet.